All right. It is Monday, September 28th, 2020 at 4:20 a.m. All right, let's take a look at some headlines. All right, Facebook threatens to block news in Australia if regulations are enacted. The social media giant argues that new rules to alter the financial agreement or arrangement between publishers and online platforms could make it impossible to share news content. Facebook users in Australia may soon be blocked from sharing news. The social media giant is threatening to make it impossible for users in Australia to share local and international news content on both Facebook and Instagram if the government passes regulations to alter the financial agreement between publishers and online platforms. The new rules, strongly backed by Robert Murdoch's News Corp Australia, would force Facebook and Google to give news outlets a bigger cut of digital advertising revenue. It is the most aggressive effort yet by any country to curb Silicon Valley's power over the news business. As Facebook sees it, the new regulations are unattainable. They could force a social network to enter into revenue sharing agreements with publishers in which the final terms would be decided by independent arbitrators, and Facebook would have no recourse to back out of the deals. We tried to make this work, Campbell Brown, Facebook's head of global news partnerships, said in an interview. We proposed our versions of somewhat workable. Unfortunately, there are so many things in this proposed legislation that just make it unattainable. The Post Monday night, Facebook said Australia had left Facebook with two choices: removing news entirely or accepting a system that lets publishers charge as much us for as much content as they want at a price with no clear limits. Unfortunately, no business can operate that way, it said. Assuming this draft code becomes law, we will reluctantly stop allowing publishers and people in Australia from sharing local and international news on Facebook and Instagram, the Post said. So that's sad to hear. Australia's going through a lot, and now they're also going to be possibly blocked from Facebook. Alright, next. Armenian. Azeri forces exchange fire again. Karabakh says 50 more soldiers killed. You see here a picture of a tank. It says the Azerbaijani service member drives an armored carrier and greets people who gather on the roadside of Baku, Azerbaijan, September 27, 2020. Alright, let's read this article. It says Armenian Azeri forces exchanged fierce fire for a second day on Monday over the disputed territory of Nagorno Karabakh, with both sides accusing each other of using heavy artillery. The clashes between Armenian and Azerbaijan, the heaviest since 2016, have reignited concern over stability in the South Caucasus region, a corridor of pipelines carrying oil and gas to world markets. So it says here, Nagorno-Karabakh and inside Azerbaijan, but run by ethnic Armenians. Azerbaijan's president declared a partial military mobilization. Interfax news agency quoted an Armenian Defense Ministry representative as saying 200 Armenians have been wounded. Nagorno-Karabakh reported 15 more of its soldiers had been killed. It also said it has recovered some territory and had lost control of on Sunday, and said Azerbaijan has been using heavy artillery to shell areas. So they're under fire. They're losing ground and gaining ground and losing lives in these attacks. Alright, next. Potential botulism thread spread. Potential botulism threat spurs recall of spaghetti sauce. So if you see this brand here, Godbout, Era Billy Ray Godbout, sauce spaghetti doesn't have proper labeling. But spaghetti sauce with virtually no identifying labeling information is under recall because of a risk of botulism poisoning. Erlabury Godbout distributed its brand of spaghetti sauce in the Canadian province of Quebec, according to a recall notice from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. The agency is urging customers to check their homes for the product. Recalled products should be thrown out or returned to the store. where they were purchased, according to the recall notice. Food contaminated with Clostridium botulinum toxin may not look or smell spoiled, but can still make you sick. 1 liter or 500 milliliter bottles of the spaghetti sauce are subject to the recall. Other labeling information as follows. So it's Arabali Godbout sauce spaghetti 500 milliliters, and then Arabali Godbout sauce spaghetti 1 liter. So if you guys have that in Canada, heads up for the Canada people, make sure you throw that out or return it to the store. Alright, next. Long concealed records show Trump's chronic losses and years of tax avoidance. The Times obtained Donald Trump's tax information extending over more than 2 decades, revealing struggling properties, vast write-offs, an audit battle, and hundreds of millions in debt coming due. Donald J. Trump paid $750 in federal income taxes the year he won the presidency. In his first years in the White House, he paid another $750. He had paid no income taxes at all in 10 of the previous 15 years, largely because he was reported losing much more money than he made. As the president wages a re-election campaign that polls says he is in danger of losing, his finances are under stress, beset by losses of hundreds of millions of dollars in debt coming due, but he has personally guaranteed. Also hanging over him is a decade-long audit battle with the Internal Revenue Service over the legitimacy of a $72.9 million tax refund that he claimed and received after declaring huge losses. An adverse ruling could cost them more than $100 million. The tax returns that Mr. Trump has long fought to keep private tell a story fundamentally different from the one he has told to the American public. His report to the IRS portrays a businessman who takes in hundreds of millions of dollars a year, yet racks up chronic losses that he aggressively employs to avoid paying taxes. Now, with his financial challenges mounting, the records show that he depends more and more on making money from businesses that put him in potential and often direct conflict of interest with his job as president. Alright guys, so that's the news when it comes to Trump's taxes. Alright guys, that's it for this video, and hit like and subscribe for more news, and see you guys next time. God bless.